Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Release Party Thursday. As always, I'm so excited to be here and host our monthly release party. If y'all have been following along, the release went out a couple of weeks ago, so hopefully you all have had a chance to play around with some of the features. If so, definitely drop in the comments what your favorite feature has been so far from this release. We have a few really exciting things to demo today. We have Burke coming on, as well as a couple of our VS Code engineers, Peng and Karthik. So it's going to be a really fun day. I already see in the chat there are a few questions talking about Copilot Chat and the waitlist. So just hang tight. When Burke comes on, we will go ahead and address that. And you'll get kind of a little sneak peek at the really cool things that Copilot Chat can do. So what's up, chat? What's going on? Amadou, hello. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Dee's Computer World. I always love seeing you in these live streams. It's always so fun. Thank you for being a loyal VS Code user. Big shout out to thanking the contributors. We will definitely do that in just a second because our contributors are one of the reasons VS Code is so amazing today. Takano, hello from Japan. Thanks for joining us today. BRNLLN, here's your shout out. Thanks for joining. So excited to have you here. Philip, been checking for the email 10 times a day to see if you're off the waitlist for Copilot Chat. You can't wait. I know Copilot Chat is amazing. I love all the buzz that is around this. We will talk about that in just a few. And I see there's a lot of comments coming through. Is Copilot Chat like ChatGPT for VS Code? One, Burke's going to be on in just a second, but two, this is actually a great plug because on our YouTube channel, we do have a video that basically says ChatGPT for VS Code. So check that out if you want a little bit more information as well. All right, so excited to be here today. Before we do get started though, I do want to take a second just to thank our contributors. All right, so at the bottom of every single release note, we have this thank you section. And I just want to take a second to scroll through that. I always want to be able to just call everyone out individually, but there's a lot of people here, so we'd probably be sitting here for a little while. So I'll just scroll through. If you are on this list and you're watching, thank you so much for all of your contributions. We couldn't do this without you. And if we just scroll through, you can see it's a pretty long list to our different repos. And definitely check that out on your own release notes to see who the people are who have helped contribute to VS Code. And if you're interested in contributing to VS Code, now's the time to do it. We're always looking for more contributors. Check out our repos and see how you can help. All right, so I know that people are very, very excited to get started. So without further ado, let's bring on our first guest, Burke.
Hey, what's up, Olivia?
Hello, Burke. How's it going?
It's going well.
Good.
Kind of. You are aware of my struggles this week.
Do you want to let people know about the struggles you've been having?
Sure. I'm having IT problems, chat. I'm sure wherever you work, you've had IT problems as well. Essentially, I've lost access to everything, and my computer is now a glorified brick. So I'm on a loaner machine. We're trying to figure it out.
It's been a fun couple of days for Burke. For those of you who don't know, Burke's actually my manager. So we had a one-on-one yesterday. And I get a message from him before, and he's like, hey, I'm like completely locked out of my computer. I was like, what? So it's been a rough day, but he made it here. So that's just a testament to how excited he is because he overcame all those, he's borrowing a laptop so he can be here with us today.
Right. That's how much, chat, and that's how much I love you, and I want to be with you. Olivia, are we going to talk about VS Code Day before it occurred to me?
Oh my gosh, we absolutely should. Let's go ahead and do that.
Hold on, I can do it. Let me share a different window here because this is exciting stuff. And you can talk about this because let's see here. Entire screen, Edge tab. Here we go. I've got it.
All right, let's pull that up. All right, so Burke right now is sharing our VS Code Day 2023 homepage for our event. So if you all have been a fan of VS Code for a while, you'll know that we've been doing VS Code Day for this is our third year, right, Burke?
Yeah, this is third.
So this year, we're really excited because we're scaling it out even more. So we're doing a full day event made up of 30-minute sessions. So if you look where Burke's scrolling, we have a whole event agenda talking about the latest and greatest of VS Code. It's really going to be talking about the features that you all care about and talking about really the future of VS Code as well, right? We're going to be talking about remote development. We're talking about code spaces, Jupyter notebooks, Copilot, all that good stuff. So make sure to register for this. We'll go ahead and put a link in the chat to this so you can head to the event page. It is on Wednesday, April 26th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time. So that will be the live event. We will also have all of that content on demand afterwards. So if you miss anything, you can catch up on it. So we're very, very excited and we hope to see you all there.
Awesome. It's going to be great, chat. We are super excited about it. And we're doing it from a studio, like actual professionals. We're not doing it from home this year, which is awesome. So we're excited about that. Okay. Enough. Let's show you. Let's get to the Copilot chat, right? That's why you came. That's why you showed up. I don't blame you. Let's do that. So let me share this window instead. And unfortunately, I can't do two things at once. Oh, I can. I can sort of see y'all. And I'm going to be looking this way, chat. It's not that I don't want to look at you, but we've already discussed how I'm barely functional this week.
Yeah, we'll take what we can get, Burke.
All right. So the if you watch the Copilot X announcement a couple weeks ago, they showed a little bit about chat, and we've made a video on this. And so this is part of GitHub Copilot. We just refer to it as Copilot Chat. And when you install it, you'll get a new icon here. And I know that you've probably installed and you're like, where is it? It was not there because there is a wait list. I know that you signed up for the wait list. We know that. There's a lot of people on the wait list, y'all. A lot. And even if you signed up the first day, we are moving through those folks as fast as we can. We are doing everything we can to get this into your hands. But the best thing we can do in the meantime is show it to you, right? So, full transparency and show you everything that we're working on. So you get this new sidebar experience here, and this functions very much like Chat GPT, right? So we just say hello, and then how can I assist you today? And it will do things that you would expect from something like Chat GPT. And so, for instance, I could say like, how can I create a web app with Python? And then it will give me some ideas, and it even will write code here as well. So it's suggesting that I do a Flask app. And then when, and you get these sort of all the explanation. And so we're composing some prompts for you behind the scenes that help the AI get back the right results here. And then from this code here, if we pull up, let's get a file up. We can either copy it. This puts it in the clipboard, and this puts it just directly into the file here. And you can iterate on this, right? So it has context. So we could say, what are some other frameworks, right? And I'm not telling it Python. I'm not saying anything. And it knows because we're in a conversation. So it's now saying, well, you can use Flask or Django. All right, so give me a simple. By the way, simple is a magical word when working with Copilot because it helps it give you just what you need, right? So here, and then it's putting it in steps, right? So it's telling me exactly what to do, exactly what to run in the server, in the terminal to set all this up. So, obviously quite powerful stuff here and very exciting.
Yeah, I feel like this is stuff that normally you would be like going back and forth between your search engine and be like, okay, how would I do this? And then you're like splitting screens and like going back. But
exactly.
Now it's all right in your editor.
If we tried to run this, like I can say, how do I run the Flask app? Flask app. It's gonna want me to do export Flask and then Flask run. I'm not gonna do that though. I'm just gonna run Python. Let's see if I even have Python installed. Maybe I don't. I can't do this. Oh, I do. So let's just do Python app.py. And like nothing happens. And so I can paste that in here and ask Copilot, about my errors and things like that. Or like, let's see, Python, maybe it's Python 3 app.py. And it would help if I saved the file. All right, so then I can like take this error, boom, paste it in, right? I've given it no context, and it can diagnose and say that error message is, Flask is not installed, and it'll tell you what to do to fix it. I find this to be the most powerful feature for me for Copilot Chat. It's just like, help me with my errors, please. And it has the context of your project, so it's really good at that. Okay.
Right. Someone asked, Burke, is it only for coding? Can you ask something not related to programming?
No, you cannot. You could. So what is the capital of North Dakota? How do you spell Dakota? Is that right?
Yeah, looks like it.
It will tell you. I'm sorry. I can only answer programming related questions. You could try to talk it into answering this question. But yeah. Programming related questions only.
It makes sense though.
Tell me you love me. Oh, sorry.
Ouch.
ChatGPT for that.
You gotta get that somewhere else, Burke.
Okay, so let me talk about a few other things that we can do here. So we're not just, so let's take this component here. So there's some special slash commands that you can use here. So for instance, in this case, we have this React component and it's undocumented, right? So this happens a lot program where you're like, what does this do? Okay, it's not immediately obvious. So if we use the explain command, it will look at this code and tell us, wow, that is verbose. Summarize that in one paragraph, please. We'll do that. That's a long paragraph. It takes 2 props. What is it doing? If a match is found, if no match is found, this component is useful for implementing role-based access control in a React application. Okay, so this is what we're really after, is this explanation. That's great. But sometimes you want to chat with Copilot inside the editor. So we have a new UI component for that. And the keyboard shortcut I'm not going to mention at the moment because it's probably going to change by the time this gets to you. But we have this new inline chat experience where we can do a lot of the same things that we can do inside the sidebar. And one of the things that we can do here is we can just say document with JS doc, right? So let's just document this component, which is, it's not documented yet. And it does that for us and adds in all of the things that we need here so the next person doesn't have to ask Copilot what this thing is doing. And then we can also say, explain, we can generate tests. The fix will attempt to fix the code if there's any problems in it. But here it wants more information. This is really good for iterating, right? So we've already created documentation. So we would say check to make sure all parameters have a value, right? Because we're not really doing that. And then it will go, it actually pipes it to the refactoring. So we get to preview it first to decide if we want it, apply it, and boom, it's in there now. So that is your crash course, and I've taken up too much time already, so I'm going to stop.
No, Burke, this is great. And I like one thing I just kind of wanted to call out too, you're mentioning it's really great for iterating. I think that's such a key point because so many people see Copilot and they're like, oh my gosh, it's just going to take my job. Like, no, you are still the pilot, right? You're still kind of in charge of getting to the point of what you want. You're still leading it. Okay, I want to make, this sample Python app. I want to do this. Okay, well, how about this, right? You're still in charge. And Copilot's just kind of there to give you a hand. Yeah,
exactly. And that's an important thing to understand, Chad, when you're working with any AI, but especially, in the editor writing code, is that exactly like Olivia said, you're still in charge. It can't write the code for you, at least not yet. And we're a far way off from that. When you work with Copilot, it actually will tell you. We'll actually say it up front to you. We won't lie to you. So if we clear this, look at this explanation you get. Basically, it says, I'm powered by AI, so surprises and mistakes are possible, right? So it's not, and not only possible, but likely. You are still the pilot, as Olivia said.
Absolutely. Okay, we've got a couple questions. There's a couple themes with them. So there's a lot basically asking what the underlying model is, like what version of GPT is it using? Can you speak to that, Burke?
Yeah, so I think it's 3.5 turbo in the sidebar, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I'll tell you what I know here. But again, there's so much of this is subject to change, y'all. This is moving so fast. By the time it gets to you, all of that is subject to change.
Absolutely. And then there's the other big theme is obviously, I know we kind of touched on the wait list earlier, but for those who maybe missed it or just are first now hearing about Copilot Chat, can you do a really quick crash course on how people can join the wait list, what maybe they can expect once they've joined it, things like that?
Yeah, so we have a blog post. Do we have a short link to the blog post that we can put in that talks about? It tells you a lot more about how we're thinking about AI, because we're really at the beginning of this, and it also mentions the waitlist. I don't know, producer, if we can get one of those up. That's probably the best way to.
Yeah, we'll make sure that's added.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So check out that blog post. If you look actually at I know in the chat, we've already put a link to the video that Burke put out a week or two ago about Copilot Chat. Burke, that links to the blog post as well, right?
Yeah, it does in
cool.
the video description.
Cool. So check out that YouTube. Hani really wants me to answer their question. Could we say something like, please read all my code in this page and optimize it? Basically wondering what are the things you can do here?
Yeah. Not optimize the code without knowing, but it gives me some suggestions. Use React Memo to memoize. I don't know. Is this a good answer? I don't actually know.
I don't either. But I mean, this is a great kind of call out, right? Copilot is always learning. So we're kind of just trying it out as we get these new features. Once this finally makes it to y'all, definitely recommend y'all just kind of poke around at it. Let us know what features you want it to do. Where is it working really well? Where could it be improved? This is, again, a very iterative process. Burke made that video a week or two ago, and even in those 2 weeks, I think a ton has changed. So there's always going to be constant improvements here.
Awesome. Well, I know we could do a whole stream on
we definitely could.
And we can, right, in the future, if y'all want us to do that and just kind of poke it for an hour and see what it will do and won't do, we're happy to do that. So just let us know. Absolutely.
Cool. All right, Burke, anything else? Any final words you want to give?
That's it. It's so good to see you, chat. Highlight of my week.
Thanks, Burke. Hopefully your laptop issues work out too. Good luck.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Burke. Our next feature we will have demoed by Karthik. Hey, Karthik.
Hey there.
How are you doing today?
Doing great. How
Awesome.
are you doing?
So excited. Good. So excited to have you on. This is a great stream. I feel like we've got a lot of good energy. So what will you be demoing for us today?
So I'll be demoing two things. One is the create environment button that we added into requirements files for Python. And the other thing is we have a move symbol feature from Pylance that I wanted to show off as well.
Okay, sounds great. Let's see it. I know we always have a lot of Python fans in the chat. So chat, if you're big on Python, let me know.
All right. For Burke, I generated all of this with our chat, our Copilot.
Nice.
Yeah, I just had to write this this function definition here, and it basically created the rest of the stuff that was needed. So it was pretty cool.
Amazing.
And the tests, I will show all of that. But
cool.
Anyway, so I was working on, so I work on language server protocol, and I add features to our various extensions that we have, like the formatter extension, linter extension. And I was trying to improve how we do, diffing between unformatted and formatted code. I was trying to find a better diff generation. So as I was researching into it, so I created a project to test it out and things like that. So I'm going to show how I would set it up. So once I create requirements file, usually go in and we can click on a button here. And then, I want to create a virtual environment with Python, and it shows me all the requirement files. It's the dev requirements, all the tests and everything. So let's install everything. And I hit OK. And it goes on to create the environment. It'll install all the files in it, and you can see as it updates.
Nice. That's handy. I know some operating systems don't have virtual environments kind of installed. How does this fit into that?
So like Debian and Ubuntu sometimes don't come with virtual environments in it. So we actually created a new Python package called microvenv. It's available on PyPI. It's basically a lightweight version of virtual environment, and it was created by Brett, who also worked on the original virtual environment. We in the current pre-release, if you try it out, we have it implemented so that it'll fall back to the microvan to create the virtual environment when it's not available. So as you can see, environment is created and installed. All the packages are installed and it's done and it's selected. So if you look at the thing, this changed from Microsoft Store to, which was this, to the virtual environment Python that we have. And as you can also see, all the packages are now installed, which used to be in the problems window now, and it doesn't exist anymore.
Dang, nice.
And we'll go into test view, and you can see that all the tests show up here. And then I can run it. So PyTest is installed, so it can run. Yeah, by the way, all of this was also generated by ChatGPT, like Copilot.
I love that. This is, Copilot in the wild.
Yeah. So it was really great. All I had to do was just select all of this and be like, can you go just write the test? And some of them, it wrote everything, but it wouldn't run because there were some differences to indexes and stuff like that. And I had to go tweak that in, but that was it. And I'll show you how the content. All right. So that's creating environment. Next, we'll look at moving symbols. So when I had asked Copilot to write the test, I didn't have a test edits file. And, for each particular case, I would ask it to generate and it would dump it in right like there, right? So then we have a new feature in our Pylance extension that allows us to move these things easily. So I'm just going to move this entire function out into the test directory, and I'm done. So it's moved. It looks like Olivia is not here. Anyway, so yeah, we ran this. We can run this now.
I'm very sorry about that. It looks like my Wi-Fi just completely conked out. So
that's okay.
I'm back.
Anyway, so it moved the symbol, moved the function from this file to this file easily, and then I just ran the test.
Nice, cool. I know someone asked, is this based on Pyrite?
Yes, Pylance is based on Pyrite.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks so much, Karthik. Sorry about my little interruption in the middle there. But is there anything else you'd like to either show or talk about that's in the plans for Python and VS Code?
So yeah, like one of the things is we actually want some feedback on the create environment stuff. Like we're trying to make sure that it does the right thing in most scenarios. One of the things that we are also looking for is where people want to see create environment show up so that it's easier for them to do. So that's also something that we want people to create bugs on and tell us, hey, it would be great if you put this feature over here.
Awesome. Is that just in our repo? Go ahead and file an issue.
Yeah, Python extension repo.
The Python extension repo. Great. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Karthik. We really appreciate it. I know all the Python fans, we had a couple of people excited about this, got some snake emojis. So always fun having that featured here. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And vegan nath. I do need a loaner. I'm gonna go ahead and say Burke cursed my laptop just then, but hopefully we're good here. All right. So without further ado, that's going to bring us to our final feature, which will be demoed by Peng. Hello. Welcome back.
Hi. Yeah, thanks for inviting me again.
Of course. Yeah, we had so much fun last time. How to have you back here. What will you be talking about today?
Yeah, last time we talked about, kernel picker, error detections in outputs, right? But this time, talk about the new features for Notebook in 77, which will include format on save, improved finding outputs, and also finally scrolling outputs regions.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see it.
Right, let's dive in. Yeah, firstly, we are excited to bring this popular feature from text editors finally to Notebook land, which is format on save. So now, with format on save, your entire notebook can be auto-formatted the moment you save it to keep your code always, clean and tidy. To turn on this feature, I'm going to go to settings, search for format on save, and then making sure that you turn this on for notebook. And then coming back to my notebook, as you can tell, the indentation is slightly off, right? Which is not good for Python. And previously, I might, go to command palette and search for format, right? We have format cell or format notebook. That's no longer needed anymore. All I need to do is command S, the formats document, and save to disk at the same time, which is pretty convenient, right? But keep in mind that this feature doesn't require you to have a formatter installed for it to work. So here I'm using Python, so the format I'm using is black. But if you already have Python extension installed, right, it will help you go through the setup process.
Okay, cool. So basically you need the formatter installed and then you need to enable that setting in order for this to work, right?
That's right.
Okay, cool. And I know, I'm really excited about this format on save, but I know there's some other just general editor code actions for on save, like things like organizing imports. Is that available in notebooks as well?
Yeah, that's what we try to achieve, right? To bring those feature parity, right, between text editor and notebooks. So code actions on save is another one we are working on. And at the same time, we introduced a new lifecycle event in our VS Code extension API called onWillSave notebook document. So extensions can now listen to this event to apply additional edits to your notebook document when users try to save. As far as I'm aware, Fast AI and NBDev folks, right, they are now working on an extension which can, clean up, the execution kind when you try to save. So give that a try as well.
Cool. Thanks. We got a couple of comments. Swaggity Pigfig says that your keyboard sounds really buttery.
Yeah, I got a Echo, mechanical keyboard, which I like a lot.
Nice. Yeah. And then Takano says auto formatting with file save is cool. I agree.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. What else do you have to show us, Peng?
Yeah. Next one, we made the searching in Notebook to be more natural. So with the Find widget in the Notebook, right? Today in 77, we can search the text both in the cell input and outputs at the same time by default. So say I'm going to search for this digit number 10, Command F. As you can see, it auto-populates the keyword into the input box and find two results, right? One is in the source code, which is Python. The other one is in the outputs. And previously, we can only search, or we search the input only by default, right? Due to technical limitations. But finally, it's behaving in the right way, just like what you would experience in browsers. But if you're not a fan, right, you say, hey, I only want to search in inputs only, right? You can still do that by go to the filter icon, and you click on the drop down, and you can control, right, the search scopes, right? You can check off cell outputs, but I personally feel like I have the both of them turned on. Yeah, this is the way.
Yeah, I agree. Because I remember I actually the first time I was ever kind of playing around with notebooks, I didn't realize you could kind of filter there. And I was like, why is this not showing in my output? And then I realized you just go to filter. And I found myself just like turning that filter on every time. So it's nice that that's kind of enabled by default now. Cool. All right. Anything else you'd like to show today?
Yeah, finally, the last one. Yeah, we have finally improved the rendering of streaming text output and arrow outputs with the introduction of scroll output regions. That's probably one of the most popular feature requests we have on VS Code repo or Jupyter repo. As you can tell here, right, I have a long output, and whenever a streaming text output goes beyond a certain limit, like here, it will be truncated, right? The content gets cut off, and to view the full content of the outputs, you have to open that in a separate text editor, which is not convenient. But now what I can do is go to settings, search for scrolling output. Turn this on. And, oops. I think for now, I still need to reopen it. But as you can see, once it's opened, the output is now rendered in a scrollable region. Nice. So it makes navigating large text output, right, much easier, right? Mm-hmm. But what's even better, it works nicely with the previous feature we just demoed, right? It works with finding outputs. So I'm going to search for, say, 42. Enter, and jumps right to the match in this scrollable region, making the reveal, right? And the combination of these two features, right, making like searching for a specific arrow output or arrow text much easier, right?
Yeah, and I think that just goes to show how many strides that y'all's team is making to make this as intuitive and as close to the general editor experience as possible, right? We want it to just be,
Right.
you open a notebook and all the features you're used to are just available right there. I think that's
we want to make sure that your muscle memory, right, still great, when you are transferring, say, from Jupyter Lab to VS Code, right?
Right, that makes sense. You did mention you kind of had to close out of the file and then reopen it for the scrollable outputs to basically take effect. Is that something that maybe will become a little more seamless in future releases?
Yeah, so we are currently improving this, experience, right, by making sure that you see a super long outputs, but then you can easily, with a single mouse click, right, you can switch to scrollable output, but also you should be able to, change the setting to make it take effect for all the outputs.
Awesome. Cool. I love seeing these. I love having you on these, Peng, to, kind of give us all of what's new in Jupyter Notebooks, because I think it's easy to, miss out on some of these really impressive features that have been added. So on that, is there anything else you'd like to demo or anything you want to chat about for what's in the future of Jupyter Notebooks?
Oh, speaking of that, right? Again, so for the font widget, right now we are trying to look into improving the Markdown, search. Right? As you can tell, right? We are trying to search for Markdown source only, but people might say, hey, it's not that natural, right? If I have a Markdown, say I have a header, then you search for header. This one is not really. We are not right now searching for the Markdown preview, and people find, okay, that's not how it works in browsers, right? And it only is searching for the Markdown preview if I turn on render Markdown. So we want to making sure that making the font widgets the best in notebook land. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Is there anywhere that people can maybe file feedback if they do think of, hey, I wish notebooks behaved similar to how the editor behaves here? What's the best place for people to let you know that?
So you can either go to the VS Code GitHub repo or Jupyter GitHub repo. We are monitoring both repos. And also, if I want to get up to date, right, feel free to give VS Code Insiders a try. That will give you both the latest VS Code features and Jupyter extension features.
Great plug for VS Code Insiders. It's so nice. If y'all aren't familiar with VS Code Insiders, you can download it and then basically get access to features that are not yet in the stable release. So you can play around with a lot of things that are updated constantly and get a little sneak peek at what will be in future releases. All right, we got one question. What theme are you using?
It's GitHub Dark Theme.
GitHub Dark Theme. That's a great one.
Yeah. Last one I was using the light theme, and people tell me, "Hey, Peng, it hurt my eyes." So I don't want to be the only one.
People are not big fans of the light, but I think everyone should do whatever makes the most sense for them. But I do know some people. I'm a dark theme all the way, but I know tons of people who are really into the light as well. Ahmed said, "Cool features. Thanks so much." And Daily Push was excited when you went over what's coming. So thank you so much, Peng. We really appreciate you coming back on. I'm sure we will see you in future releases to talk even more about Jupyter. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. All right, everyone. That brings us to the end of what we will be demoing for today's release party. We saw some really great things with Copilot Chat. I know there was a lot of unanswered questions still in the chat there, but this release party was really just to kind of get that on your radar and get you excited for it. There will be a lot more content to come on that. I'm sure we will do our own standalone live stream on it. We will post videos. So make sure to follow us on YouTube, on TikTok, and even on our Twitter as well to kind of stay up to date with anything that will happen there. Karthik came on and showed some of the great Python updates. And speaking of Python, if you're a Python fan, tomorrow we will be having our Python Pulse live stream with Don Wages. So definitely tune into that. That's streamed in the exact same place that this live stream is. So just make sure to go ahead and tune in there. And then Peng came on to show some of the Jupyter updates, which was always great. So thank you all for coming. One final plug, VS Code Day, April 26th. Make sure to register. Go ahead and get access to that. As soon as you register, you might get some digital swag as well. Check out the sessions that we have. We're really excited for that event and to see you all there. So with that, thank you all, and we'll see you next week for another live stream.